Good morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is April 1st. End of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. This market has had 5 months of going up. What's going to stop it, right? What's going to stop this market? Now, we just had some exuberance off the open in the overnight. That's pretty much almost all taken back. All right, we're getting to some sense of normalcy here with the market opening up and just ripping higher. Pretty much almost all the gains are gone. So it makes it kind of an even playing field to start the week. Obviously, Easter was yesterday, and last week had low volume. Not sure this week, like my daughter has spring break. I'm not sure how the trading volumes are going to be this week, but we do have non-farm payrolls and unemployment on Friday. Lots of Fed speak throughout the week. That's what's kind of going on. Today's going to be a day really I'm going to try to soak up and wait to see what story unfolds today before really laying some risk out there. Just because with the holiday weekend, um, just have to be cautious, especially with this morning. Ripping up higher, taking back that move. This this could set up for just a bouncy weird day, but right now we'll get into that in a little bit. Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand gamma exposure levels, anchored VWAPs, the most traded price of the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the previous day. When those things line up, it's a thing of beauty, and you might want to lay some risk out and put a trade on. That's what I like to use and structure basically from market profile and volume profile. And if you watch, you'll see how I use certain levels as inflection points. And hopefully, confluence is the name of the game. Basically, my style to put some risk out there. Okay? So, if you can, subscribe, set alert if you haven't already. Alright, hopefully, if you enjoy my content, you can give me a big thumbs up. That would help me out tremendously. And you can always follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right, now we can get right into the futures watch list. Okay. Who's the leader? VIX. All right, the VIX is up 5.46. Okay, it's up to 13.72. Sold off pretty hard as of late. I think it's just exuberance. So, gold is setting all-time highs again. It's pushing up. All right, Russell's up 0.51, Silver's up 0.36, Nasdaq's up 0.19, ES up 0.15, Dow's up 0.12, the dollar's up 0.08, 10-year yield doesn't report to 820, 30-year bonds are being sold, so the 10-year yield should rise at 820. We'll check in on that in a little bit. Crude is down 0.6. Ether is down 0.82 and Bitcoin is pulling back. It's down 1.87%. Okay, that's the look at that. And moving on to the Mag 7 Plus, let's see what's going on there. China had good data come out, so BABA's up 1.37%, followed by Roblox. Microsoft's up 0.43. Microsoft is separating its Microsoft Teams from Microsoft Office, I believe, or just separating it as a standalone product, I think, for antitrust lawsuits. That's what I saw for news there. If we go to laggards, Apple, I saw got a price target reduction. AMD, saw still Biden trying to limit China to some chips. AMD's down 0.14. That's not much. Coins pulling back with Bitcoin. With Tesla was up previously, and Tesla has raised the price, I think, on their Model Y. We'll get into that later because they've done a bunch of price cuts, cut into their margins. This is obviously positive if you're raising a target price. Okay. What else? Let's move on to top sector stocks. All right. Leading up here, UPS. UPS just replaced FedEx for cargo delivery for the United States Postal Service. That's why they're up 1.96%. Okay, followed by Morgan Stanley, CAT. All right, not much leaders down here, and not really a laggard. No laggard really to speak of. Okay, let's go to the swing trade. Let's see who's the leader here. Swing trade list. What was that? Delta Airlines. That's up 1.98%. Baxter. Let's see. Zoom. Lucid. Hey, I can't remember who that is. Allstate? No, it's not Allstate. That's that's slipping my mind for some reason. GDXJ. It's the miners, junior miners. ONON. Crocs. Nothing really too crazy that's up. Okay, nothing too crazy. If we go to the laggard, okay, 3M. 3M is down pretty big. Let's see here. Not really sure why right now. All right, MicroStrategies, that's down pretty big, 5.55%. Um, Donald Trump's ticker is down 5%. Okay, that's pretty big. Mara, this is all one. Obviously, that's not because of anything, but Mara, all Bitcoin related stocks down 0.2.3. FedEx is down because of the UPS and getting replaced. Bitcoin ETF's down. Reddit is down. Riot. That literally rounds up that. Let's put this back. Let's go to sectors. Who's the leader this morning? Semiconductors, no surprise. Not a huge, but up 0.36. Technology is up 0.20. Energy is up 0.13. There's not a laggard really. Okay. And the leader out of the indexes this morning is the Russell. It is up 0.48. And the laggard is the Dow. Okay. That wraps up the watch list. We can get into economic calendar and market news for this week. Let's check that out. And today, what do we have? 9:45 S&P Global Manufacturing, and 10 a.m. is ISM. Now, if I expand this to probably there's more. Yeah, 10 a.m. is a slew of data coming out. I don't want to be getting a trade at 10 a.m. Initiating, especially 9:45. So, like, probably not going to do much till about at least 10 minutes after this news drops. Let it shake out. Okay. Fed Cook speaking. If we go to the week, we got Jolt's jobs on Tuesdays. On Tuesday, Fed Bowman, a lot of Fed speak this week. Fed Williams, Fed Mester, Fed Daly. Okay, let's go on to the Wednesday. Let me shorten this up. It's too long of a list. All right. Let's see here. Wednesday, Fed Bowman. Then we have S&P Global Composite, Global Services at 9:45. Then ISM Services on 10 a.m. Here, this is on Wednesday, followed by Powell speaks on Wednesday at 12:10 p.m. Okay, followed by more Fed speak. Thursday, we have jobless claims and more Fed speak. Okay, Friday is the big one, non-farm payrolls and unemployment, and then you got Fed Collins and more Fed speak. So Friday's really the big data day, and you got Powell talking on Wednesday. So of course, always market moving things going on, always headline risk here in this market. So that's what's going on there. Covering some other news, let's get into, hold on a second here. Okay, talked about the Microsoft separating teams. This is kind of probably why the market moved up a little bit. New inflation data along the lines of what Fed wants, Powell says. Okay, UPS to become USPS primary cargo provider. Talked about that already. All right. All right, it's probably all I wanted to cover here. Okay, and just in this little wrap up here, it talks about. Let's see here. Just wanted to see here. Microsoft talked about that. Tesla announced a 1,000 price hike for its Model Y. That's what I was talking about earlier. China had some good data come out. Let me see where that was. Was that in here? Thought that was in here. Maybe it's in the juice. Yeah, that's what I wanted to cover here. Chinese stocks rally after data. Chinese stocks climb the highest in a month on new indications of economic revival. Okay, so trying to think what else I wanted to cover here. I think that's probably it. I covered most of the news. What stocks? Let's see if there's any other upgrades or downgrades here. Not really anything to talk about here. I think we're going to move on to daily charts. Okay, while this futures market shakes itself out, kind of normalized itself, had single prints. So we will go to the daily charts. Let's do it. All right. We got our channel here in the SPY. Keeps being honored. Okay, let's get a little closer here. Okay. So Thursday, it's kind of not a very impactful day. Like all week was weird movement. You've had bursts of volatility, and then you had a lot of barcoding the whole week. Not the best trading environment, right? So what did we do on Thursday? So we opened here, right? Pushed down, went all the way up to last month's highs. Okay, which was now last month would be because we're now in April, would be March, right? Pushed up there and closed here, right? Closed right around the previous day's highs. All right, now this morning with a lot of movement, now we're at 524. So we are right there, pretty much around the upper third of Thursday's session. All right, really not much to say about that. That's just where we're at. All right, above these moving averages. Okay, we haven't hit the 20-day simple moving average since March 15th. Okay, and then we pushed up, went by this top of this channel, sold off, didn't come all the way back. Right, 9 EMA held, and then we're kind of just in this middle of the model here. Really have to see, like I said, we got to wait till this shakes out today. Okay, looking at the Qs. Let's zoom out here in the Qs. Okay, so the Qs been a little weaker as of late. Okay, so the Qs came up here, pulled back, right? Got bought up right at this 9 EMA, or you could say the 20. And we've kind of just been going in this little range here. Okay, and where are we at now? 445, let's say 445. So we're right here. You can see this is around a very heavily traded price right now. You'll see that in the profile when I talk about it later. Okay, so you're in the middle of this channel. If you look at this channel here, right, you're in the middle of it. It's not a great place to be at all. So I'd expect some inside out movement today. All right, I'd expect to push and test one of these edges, be it 447, be it 441, 442. Okay, we're going to test these edges. All right, that's what I'm seeing. Like I said, we'll get some more detail into the market profile and volume profile in the futures. That's what I'm seeing as far as the Qs and the SPY. All right, now if we go over to the triple-headed monster, which is the VIX, the 10-year yield, and the dollar, we'll start with the bond market and the 10-year yield. Okay, let's look at how this is shaping out. So right now, currently, the 10-year yield is up, like I was going to say before, because 30-year bonds are being sold. It is up almost 1%. It's up 0.9%. Okay, 0.90%. Excuse me. All right, so you can see the yields You're around these cluster of moving averages, right? You got the 200-day moving average, 20-day, the 100-day, the 50. They're all just, that's how you can tell this market's indecisive right now, what the bond market wants, right? Because yields have been rising, but now we're just kind of lollygagging around here. Doesn't know what to do yet, right? Maybe non-farm payrolls can move this on Friday. Okay, moving on to the VIX. The VIX is just pretty much dead. There's not much fear. Okay, I mean a 13 VIX is not much fear. This is a month out of fear. People are not buying, not hedging right now. There's no fear. That probably will change, but no fear right now. And this dollar has been rising, see, from here. So it is not lollygagging. So you have the cluster moving averages, but it's above that now, and we're at kind of like a key inflection point here, about 104.6. Okay, so a strong dollar usually doesn't bode well for equities, usually doesn't bode well for commodities. Okay, the stronger the dollar, that's not usually good. Okay, so you have to see if you can break this 104.6, maybe push up to 105. Keep an eye on that dollar. And even though the dollar is strengthening up, gold is looking pretty good, right? I don't usually cover gold, but if we just go to the gold futures market, here you can see we just hit, I don't know why that's there. Let's get rid of that. This is gold futures. We hit an all-time high just today. It just keeps powering. See, kind of like consolidate it and boom, right? I'm liking that. I'm liking my gold. I held my gold, and it's paying off. So I'm happy about that. I'm loving this consolidation, and now hopefully we consolidate more to go to 3,000. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. I think that wraps it up for the triple-headed monster. Okay. And now we can go to my favorite way to look at the market profile and volume profile. Okay. This is my preferred method of looking at the market, how I get my game plan, how I make my scenario. Okay. And you can see the movement. I'll break this out. The beauty about all this profile is 30-minute bars. And it looks crazy, but that's all it is. Look, see? It's just 30-minute bars. That's it. And you can see we opened here, ripped up, consolidated, and now look, went right back to where the most traded price of last Thursday. Not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. That just makes sense. That's how the market works. Okay? All right. So let's look at this profile. Okay, so you can see down here we don't have much excess. Okay? Then we got value area. Okay? And nobody's sure about value area. It's where 70% of the trade has happened. So all this is value area, all the light blue. Okay? That's what the market has deemed value. Okay? 70% of the trade has happened there in the last 5 days. All right? This profile will change because it's rolling. Okay? Now, look at this, how these levels hold. I just want to show you guys this. This is why I plot these levels. So Thursday's most traded price was right here. You see how the market opened literally to the tick. Did not break that most traded price and took off. Right? And when you take off and you can't establish value higher, what do? Return back to value. Right here. Okay? Because there wasn't much volume here. That was not going to be supportive. And it wasn't. So this move was just a basic market move, came right back. Okay? So let's get into the structure now. It's a little messy looking profile. Okay? 24-hour chart here. The most traded price is 53.09. That could very well turn out to make this most traded price move higher. Okay, but right currently the most traded price of the RTH session is down here. Probably will move up to 52.84. Okay, So if we look at the structure, okay, we were 100% not long at one point. We're all the way up here. Well, guess what? That's taken back. So there's no longer an edge there. Okay, no longer an edge. We're inside Thursday session. Here's price. We're inside Thursday session. Again, not much edge there. We're right around the most traded price of Thursday. So if you got long Thursday and you're coming into the market now, and the market closed down here, you're like, oh, cool. I mean, you might be a little upset because you couldn't have taken advantage of this move up here, but nothing's changed. Not much has changed. Okay, which is fine. Okay, which is fine. Now, one little tidbit here. Whenever you make an overnight high, see this overnight high? We were gapping up, and now we're inside the range, right? Usually, these overnight highs are not secure, meaning that you don't usually leave a high in the overnight. It usually gets touched in the RTH session. So that's just a little tip. And 97% of every trading session hits the overnight highs or overnight lows. So it's very rare to not hit the lows or the highs of the overnight. People call it pre-market, but in futures usually call it the overnight. Okay. So let's look at our structure and let's look at what can we deem from this, right? Like I said, not much edge here because we're in the middle, right in the middle of the range. However, there's a significant level here. I already pointed it out. This is a weak low now. Okay, right here, the overnight low happens to be the most traded price of Thursday. Okay, the most traded price of Thursday. And you can have longs from here, right? And you still have longs from here. They actually haven't even been hurt. Okay, so you could possibly expect if this holds, you might be able to make that move up. Conversely, if it breaks, you have a weak low here. Look at this. Here's a low. Here's another low of Thursday. And you have a little baby low right here. And this is weak low as well. Below that is single prints. Okay, so this market could definitely, if it gets a little weak, take all this out. But that's the structure we have going on right now. Okay, so here's the key levels here. 53.11 is one weak low, right? Bulls need to defend it to go higher. If bulls lose, this is going to come down to this weak low. What is that weak low? Around 53.02. Okay, if this breaks, it has single prints below it, which definitely can cause a nice move way back to the most traded price of the week. Okay, so now that you know that, we can go right into scenarios. Let's look at our ES scenarios. And I hope everything's making sense, whoever is watching. Okay, so we have our weak lows. We have our not secure overnight high. Okay, so we have our overnight. We have our RTH high, RTH low, right? Overnight high, overnight low, price. Okay. So with that, we will go with our bullish scenarios first, okay? So off the bat, this is very susceptible to get broken, which I probably will right now as we're speaking. Boom, there you go. There you go. Okay. Still, the job of the market is to defend this area. Okay, so if you're a bull, even if this gets touched, whatever, if you start making lower highs and you can't find acceptance lower, you're going to start to move up into this area, right? There is a supply here, but you can go ahead and test that overnight high. The next scenario, okay, you could lose this, break this weak low, and you're going to come down to this weak low, which I've talked about before. Okay, this could be a little bear trap. You got singles here. If these singles do not get clean, meaning you don't take out these single prints, and you get kind of this movement, higher low, then you're going to hit this area, and then you could try to take off towards that overnight high. That for me would be the limit for looking at longs. Really wouldn't be interested that much. Okay. Now, I'm sure you can reverse engineer those shorts and figure out also what I would think a possible short could be. Okay. So in this scenario, right, you're in the middle of the range, it's not a great area. So if I'm like, okay, I'd like to maybe look at this short, what I would like to see is a push up. Okay. Now, two things can happen here. I'm going to give you the first. You could push up all the way back up into this supply, right? Fail, come back. Now you got to test this weak low, right? You could take this out. Here's the next weak low I talked about, and you got single prints. If you really weak, you're going to rip through these single prints, and you're probably going to go down to here. Okay, that's one. Another case could be right here. You stay down here. You only go up a little bit. Boom. You come through this weak low, right? Now, your next target would probably be this weak low, 5300, 5302, and the single prints, right? And then you can rip down here. This is the 90 man a daily futures, and it's the most traded price. You got demand here. I would expect to get some support here. Okay, but this could be very well in the cards as well, based on this all these setups I just mentioned. Okay, that would do that. Okay, now let's move on to the Nasdaq. Let's see if the Nasdaq has a similar structure, because I do these on the fly with you guys. Okay, now I can look at this chart, and it's very different looking, very different looking than the Nasdaq. Okay, now the Nasdaq has some, in the last 5 days, has some excess to the top. All right, here's your value area, the light blue. So it's a very much more balanced market, and a little bit of a distribution down here, and then a little bit of excess. Okay, why is this? If you just look at this chart, look at all these sessions, right? They're just clumped together, right? And right here is the key level, 185.50. Currently, it's the most traded price of the week and the month in the Nasdaq. Okay, huge level. Okay, so price is here. Now, pre-market, you were up here in the overnight. Now, what happened? You pushed through this huge level, and now you're below it. And where did you go? I just want to point this out again. The market went to the most traded price of Friday. You see that right here, this box? That's where the market landed, and that's where it got defended. So I don't like the Nasdaq as much right now, because you have this huge level in the way right here. I don't really like it, meaning that this is a big wall. Okay, now big move is going to come out of this. Okay, you're in ultimate balance. The most traded price of the week and the month are together. That's ultimate balance. Okay, so similar, right? Because look, price is here. Here's Friday's highs and Thursday's highs and lows, right? Here's the midpoint of the session. The most traded price is here. Price is here. You were almost 100% net long. That does not matter anymore. Most traded price of the overnight was up here. They got beat. They longs had to liquidate, right? So you do have a similar setup here. Like I said, I don't like this big level being right here, but if we're talking about structure, okay, you have a weak low here, overnight low, and the most traded price of Thursday. Okay, and then you don't have the perfect weak low like you did in the ES. You don't have that level where you have a couple lows all clumped together, but you kind of a little bit. It's not as clean. Okay, but you do have demand here. So without further ado, let's get into the Nasdaq scenarios together. Going to be very similar. Okay. I do like that there's nice demand here for the long. So if we're looking at longs, okay, price is here. Here's a weak low. Has to be defended. Okay. Well, has to. If I want to see reactions to this level, I want to see it push down, trap some shorts in here, come back up, hold. This is not always easy to go through, but if you do, you come to this supply and possibly you can hit that overnight high up here. Okay, this would be tough sledding usually. These levels kind of like are very hard to get through. Sometimes you do have a catalyst where it whips right through it, and then you usually get a very big move. So be cognizant of that. Now you do have this. It's not the best level down here. Okay, but this could also be defended. Okay, so if the market does break that weak low, it has to deal with this low, and you're in demand. Okay, so I am not shorting anything inside this demand. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for risk. It just doesn't make sense. Can it work? Sure. However, if I see this and we can't establish, you can't find acceptance down there, we're going to start pushing up. And that's probably the move. You're going to go to here and possibly go to here. Okay, you could go to here and we do this again. Okay, that's what I see as far as the longs. As far as the shorts, okay, you have to use this level and this supply now as your areas that sellers need to defend. Now we're below this level, so this would be something where we could come down here, push, come up here. Now if you don't find acceptance above this level, hit this supply and kind of go like this, we're going to come back and test this weak low. Okay, in demand, it's probably not going to just be easy to fight through this, but you possibly could touch the 20-day simple moving average in futures on the daily, right? Okay. Now, the other one, this I'm going to call it 186.11. This supply right here has been tested multiple times and has been resistance. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 times it's been tested, 4 times it hasn't been able to break that level. Okay, so you have to see if we do wind up coming into here, does it get resistance again and come back to the mean, right? So that level is very, very important, resistance level. Just wanted to mention that to you guys. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Now, to give you guys a different view, because I know some people maybe don't like to see these market profiles, I just get a lot of information from them because I see volume, where it's traded. I see the most traded prices, anchored VWAPs, right? We have a new monthly VWAP now. It's going to share the week-to-day VWAP because it's a new week and it's a new month, so they're going to be together. But I just love it. I see all on one part, right? Then if you look, well, and I'll just go over to the monthly chart. The hourly chart of the ES, and you can see the same levels. You just don't see the market profile, right? And one thing too, why did that not come up? There we go. One thing too that you see on my chart here, and that I like, well, maybe not as much, but the relative volume, right? This has been weak. Okay, so ES right now is at 73% of normal volume, which is obviously 100 is normal. Crude is at 80%. Okay, and the Nasdaq is at 97%. So the Nasdaq relative volume is better right now than the ES. Okay, but enough of that. We're going to get into the hourly chart, and then I'm going to wrap it up. So let's look at this hourly chart together. So Here's that weak low I talked about. Okay, you can see right there. That's that big weak low that I said if it breaks, you have single prints below it. Okay, so obviously we ripped up, consolidated, came back down right to the most traded price of Thursday. Okay, now you're getting some buying. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, but that's that big level, that weak low that I said that could cause us to sell off in the ES. Okay, now as far as the Nasdaq. Okay, let's pull in the Nasdaq here, and this is the weak low right here that I talked about earlier. Right, I said it's not as perfect as the ES, but it's still there. But you have demand here. Okay, and here's that big level, ultimate balance. Okay, you can see this level when we hit this resistance level I talked about in Nasdaq, right? And you can see what happens. Where are we going? We're going across this big level, right? So this is kind of like the middle of a balance beam, a seesaw. So you come down, you come up, you come down, you come up, right? So that's why that level is so important, right? And what we're doing is just building up energy. This is a spring, see? Coiling, 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 and we break out here or we break out here. Okay? So like I said, this is not a great area to be in. It's not a great area to be in. You want to be down here making a decision, or you want to be up here making a decision, or here. Here is just not a great area. All right. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoyed the analysis. Okay. And if you did, subscribe, set an alert. Do this every day at 8:10 a.m. Okay. And I just got to be patient with the game plan. The patience is the name of the game. Okay. If you like to give me a thumbs up. And again, you can always follow me on X. That's at Gonzo719. Okay. Now we have our plan today. I like it. I like those weak lows. If I'm looking for some type of bear trap, because I kind of like reversals. I don't like to short at lows. I don't like to go long at highs. All right. I'd rather get people in pain and then try to get the bigger move back. Okay. So I wish everybody good luck today. Stay green, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.